Hi, my name is Shraddha Friend, and I just want to make this video of my own personal views. Um, my name is a spiritual name that I changed 2 years ago. I follow Maitreya, the friend of all souls, and I was a member of the Friends Way Holy Community. This is not on behalf of anyone except myself, though. And my motivation is just to get my thoughts out and preserve them. It's September 22nd, 2020. The world situation generally is we've had this COVID virus. It's a Wuhan virus from China since around St. Patrick's Day. So it's been like 6 months, and I mean, it's good that it's not as deadly as we weren't sure how it was going to be when it all started. Kind of more importantly is the politics of the time, which have been going on for a while. And I am conservative. I used to be a Democrat years ago. When I try and think about how I was back then, it was a perfectly described knee-jerk liberal. And I say that about myself, but I do see that in liberals because it's based on emotion and feeling that they're the compassionate, good people, and that's all that matters. And there's not a lot of facts and not a lot of truth. So I am Maitreyan and have been for years. Not a very good one, but certainly a persistent one, and very sincere because I know that Maitreya, the friend of all souls, was awakened by God, and he was sent to bring enlightenment to all souls. And unfortunately, he passed away in July 2012. I know that he is working in the spiritual realm ever since he left this physical world. I think that a lot of the truth that is coming out in America is partly because of the spiritual work that Maitreya is doing in the spiritual realm. That's personally how I feel based on my own personal experiences. I don't expect people to just take that at face value, but that's my perspective. That's where I'm coming from. He helped me become more conservative politically, even though we're not a political group by any means, and mostly stayed out of it until it just became imperative because we believe in truth, and we also believe in the goodness of our country in America. And obviously I think all humans are soul, which is spirit, which is one with universal spirit, no matter where they live. And there's just one race, the human race. And as Maitreya says, the soul has no color. We are all soul, which is spirit, which is one and identical with the one universal spirit. But as far as the world situation, I care about truth. I just really, really care about truth. And that's what I want to find. And if I find a truth that says what I used to believe has to be thrown out, then I will. I care more about the truth than my attachment to any thoughts or ideas, except that I am very attached to the truth. And right now, especially for years now, but especially right now, the truth is much more on the right side than the left side. I try to stay in the middle, but it's almost impossible right now because I really just have to go more right because that's where the truth is. Most all the truth is on the conservative side right now. The Democratic Party is not what it used to be. It is not the Democratic Party that, as they say, that my father had, and literally as my father had. My father was in politics, just small town mayor, but I think it's that reason that most of my family, and I come from a large family, um, keep their hands in politics too. It's kind of a family thing, but unfortunately, almost all of them are very, very far left, and I know that they do not understand so many things. They've turned their hearts and minds against finding out any more truth. They're entrenched in what they believe, as are most liberals, leftists these days. And there used to be a true liberal, but they're rare now. They've been taken over by the leftists. That's a true statement. It's not conspiracy. It's not some alarmist thing. It's not an overgeneralization. It's the truth. The Democratic Party has been taken over by the Marxist, communist, whatever you want to call them, the far, far left. And they have an agenda to destroy our country. And so I find this just horrible, very, very disturbing, and something that I feel like I have to fight against. Not sure how, except to try and get more truth out. Luckily, of course, many people, many very good conservative people are getting the truth out. And it was funny because I was thinking, oh, we need a place that has all the lies about President Donald Trump in one place. And then I found a book. So here's one book. If you can see it, the big 21 Biggest Lies About Donald Trump by Kurt Schlichter. The only thing is he kind of directs it as in preaching to the choir to the people who already know, but it's just convenient because it's all in one place. And but I feel like really the liberals need to read this. Really take it to heart. Think about it. Study it. Look it up yourself. Find out the truth. They need to open their minds. I just pray and beg anyone who is on the left to just sit quietly and ask whatever you conceive of as universal God for the truth. If you can do it, if you can set aside all your preconceptions, just open yourself to what the truth is and read this book. Because it does it in a humorous way, which is nice. So kind of take a break from the seriousness of it, but it's, has the facts. And just briefly, a few of them. Since the beginning of this campaign against Trump, so many things, but obviously I knew in the beginning when he was first campaigning, and then when he won, my first thoughts were, well, it's going to be open season about his personality. I mean, obviously he's a big ego, and maybe he's narcissistic. I don't know. Funny way of speaking. I thought just very New York, in your face. I think kind of funny sometimes. And obviously there are things for people not to like about his personality. And I thought there'd be a lot of jokes and things like this. But the hatred, I just can't. I'm so tired of the hatred. The past 4 years, it's too much. So I believe that he's going to win again. But the leftists have been going crazy nonstop for 4 years. They've been on a propaganda campaign of lies. It is true that they've mostly taken over the media. It is true that the media has been out to destroy Trump. And because I've seen it, obviously, and it's just a shame, the people that believe the propaganda and the media. One big one was, I heard the speech when he gave it, when he was talking about the Confederate statues. There was a protest and taking them down or keeping them up. And then there happened to be some small contingency of, I guess, KKK or white supremacists. And there was maybe other people on the leftist side. And I didn't know too much about this situation, but I just heard him briefly saying how there was good people on both sides. But I knew in the context what he was talking about. And then he immediately, like, he knows what the media does to him, so he immediately, right after he said good people on both sides, he totally clarified it. You know, of course, I don't mean that white supremacists are good people. I'm talking about other good people who were there. Nope, media took it, just takes that statement, good people on both sides, that's it. And propaganda goes out, and half of America believes it. Including the liberal, I can't even say liberal, leftists that I know. They believe that. It's ridiculous. And believing that he's some kind of Nazi, I mean, that's bizarre. He has Jewish people in his family. And then he moved the Jewish embassy to Israel. And why wouldn't there be evidence of some kind of anti-Semitism? And then, of course, the racist. Oh, God. That's another one. I don't even listen to that many of his speeches because I'm not a huge fan of the way he speaks unless he's doing the State of Union where speechwriters help him. And I'm busy and but I'll try and just get the general idea of some speeches. But I happen to hear that one too because he's talking about illegal immigration, which I totally have been talking about for many years, as most conservatives have, and most Americans have, because it's a big problem. And you could see all the evidence of all the Democrats saying the exact same words as Donald Trump about doing something about the borders, about protecting our borders, just doing what countries are supposed to do and vetting the people coming in, and don't just let them pour in and not have any law and order. And he just said the truth, and that a lot of criminals were coming in because it was a very big problem. There's criminals from that gang were coming in and killing people. It's the cartel, and I can't think of that other gang. There's an X in it. But anyway, he clearly was talking about specific people were criminals. Some of them coming in. Some of them. He never said every single Mexican, coming across the border was a criminal. Never said that. Never. And then this lie goes out that he said all Mexicans are criminals. This is totally bizarre because obviously, first off, he's talking about illegal. So that is criminal. That is a crime to come in illegally. You're supposed to come in the right way. And then specifically in that group, he was talking about specific criminals that are coming across the borders and committing crimes in our country, and that we need to vet that and to do something about that. It was pretty common sense, and it was what other candidates, and Obama said it, Hillary said it, Bill said it, same exact things he said. He just has such a way of speaking, that it's kind of coarse and very direct, and then the media hates him, and those in power hate him. Let's be clear about what this campaign is against him. It's a power trip. They can't stand that he won. He wasn't even really a Republican, so there's some Republicans that don't want him in power either. He became a Republican in order to run and to, thank God, win and help our country. And he's not even taking a salary. He donates it. Good portion of it. I never heard of any other president doing that. But you can't tell the leftists anything. They have a response to everything. They need to open their hearts and their minds to just figure out the truth. Okay, fine, we get it. You don't like his personality. There's certainly a lot there to have an issue with. Can't you just set it aside and care about what's best for our country, number one? Number two, care about truth, not lies, not propaganda, not the power campaign that's against him. Think for yourselves. Thank God a lot of people are. There's a lot of people that have left. It's called the walk-away movement. It's become big. People started thinking for themselves and go, well, wait a minute, is this true, what they're saying? And then they find, oh, gee, what do you know? I'm being lied to. And people don't like being lied to, so they're leaving that party that's lying to them, which I don't blame them, thank God. And the black conservative movement is really growing because they're realizing they don't need this Democrat Party forcing them to identify as being victims. They're like, no, we're just all Americans. and I'm going to take every opportunity I can to better myself in my life. If something truly unfair happens to me, I'll do something about it. But I don't need a party declaring that I am a victim and I can't do anything about it. It's just the way it is. It's systemic racism. Won't even get into all that. People have to just figure it out for themselves. Make their own decisions. I just have to say something that really, truly bothers me, which is, if anyone's ever seen my Facebook page, they'll know how bothered I am. The Black Lives Matter. Oh my God. When I see my neighbors with their little signs out about how they support Black Lives Matter, I just can't stand it. I'm just like, please. I mean, we're not talking extensive research here. You can still just Google them, go to their page and see. Although right now, just last week, I saw they started taking some stuff down. But there's videos, like who are the founders of Black Lives Matter? Oh, gee, what do you know? They're avowed Marxists. There's videos saying we are Marxists. That is our agenda, to destroy America and have the Marxist propaganda machine take over the power of this country. They don't hide it. And then it was on their website that they want to destroy the family unit, and that's been the communist agenda since forever, but certainly since the 40s in this country. And they've succeeded, unfortunately, in a large way. They infiltrated schools, and it used to be just colleges were the Marxist propaganda machines. Then it's also high school, now it's grade school, and now it's as young as kindergartners, being indoctrinated to think America's evil and just horrible things about the country, and all these Marxist ideals are great, and it's just awful. But the thing is that I am a Maitreyan. That's not a Christian. And so this is the thing on the, if you go talk about the far left, the far right has the born again, the I can never say that, evangelist movement. And, power to them, great, but that's not me, because I'm a universalist. And I know that God awakened within different men and women throughout the ages for different reasons. And I accept, love, honor, and revere all of universal gods, prophets, saints, Buddhas, saviors, avatars of all time, without being bound to accept what has been said or written about them. So if I want to commune with Jesus and know his teachings, I'll commune directly with him. Some of the Bible is very beautiful, but I don't have to accept that as that's it. That's all that's the word of God. That's it. That's all there is. No. But that's the great thing about America, is freedom of religion. And I just want everyone to be free. And ideally, I would love if everyone would look for truth. And if they still want to say they dislike Trump or this and that and other, and it's based on truth, then whatever, that's what we're about. Make your own decisions. Go with your own heart. But when it's because of propaganda and lies, it's just very disturbing. It's very, very disturbing that people are making decisions that affect the future of our country that are based on lies and misconceptions and, frankly, some crazy ideas that would destroy the foundation of our society. And they have an answer for everything. They'll say, like, oh, this woman's she's old, she's scared of change. That's what they say, scared of change. It's like the racist thing. Everybody's a racist who doesn't agree with them. Well, if you prove that you're not, you just have proof. You just don't know it. They even have a label. That's soft racism. It's just bizarre. It's just, I mean, you have to laugh. That's why this book is good, because it helps you laugh about it. But, good Lord. If you don't laugh, you cry. And the other thing that really got me lately were the protests that are still going on. So, like, what, 3 months since Memorial Day, and we just passed Labor Day, and everyone understood that the killing of George Floyd was an aberration and a horrible thing. It's not, but of course the leftists grab all this. Whenever there's a shooting against a black man from a white police officer, they just milk it and use it, and they use it to create this unrest and this division in our country, and the hatred and the anger, and they feed on the anger, and they make more anger, and it's just horrible. And I understood having protests about it, but then when they turn to riots, and then they excuse the riots, and then the riots are still going on, and then the gem of it all, like you think that this is some kind of weird joke, but you can't make this shit up. Defund the police, and then they have an answer for that. Like, oh no, you don't understand. It's a really good thing. No, you're certifiably crazy at this point, and you will not destroy this country, and you will not win. But what bothers me is that they're not gonna. I want them to change. I want them to see truth, and to see what's best for the country, instead of these lies and this anger and this craziness. I guess we just have to have this fight between good and evil, and it's really going on, and it's really out of hand right now. And I guess I need to see what I can do to accept what's going on. And I mean, I do have faith, but I'm just not sure how we're going to get to everything. This is Maitreya. And this is it's a religious book, Holy Book of Destiny, but it has everything. It has his Maitreya's early history, and then it has basically the religion and the spiritual practices. So it's not like a regular book with, chronological or things like that. It's like our Bible. Like, you can pick up the Bible and read it in any different place for any different reason. It's kind of like that. So that helps me get through, and I know that we are in a fight between the age of darkness and the age of enlightenment. And I know that Maitreya was here to help bring enlightenment to all willing souls. And I know that eventually there will be the divine critical mass, where most, if not all, souls finally do become truly spiritually enlightened. And that is beyond all this worldly stuff. But this worldly stuff, we need to try and focus on truth more. And also, I'm asking the left, and just real briefly, I have friends that are liberals, and my family. My family's very leftist. But I have friends I see on a regular basis, and all of them, friends and family, good people, good souls. I'm not saying they're evil by any stretch of the imagination, but that's what's so heartbreaking to me. They're good people. They think that what they're doing and what they believe in is good. It's good. It's goodness. I think they should question all the hate, because if it's so good, why are they so hate-filled? But also, most of all, question lies and truth, and look things up and figure it out. Having to go in and stop riots is not the militarization and a secret police. I mean, there's just so many crazy things. And then, so I'd ask them these are good people, and I would ask them to open their hearts and minds. And then on the right, again, good people. Most souls are just really good, and then we have free choice, and sometimes we make terrible choices. And then there's some people who choose a lot of evil, and they become evil people. But even them, at their core, they're goodness and one with God. But they will either suffer or enjoy the results of their choices, as we all will. But on the right, I would ask them to remember, it's not just Christians. It's not just Christians that are conservative. I'm not a Christian, but I'm not against Christianity. And I'm a Christian in some regards, but I'm beyond that. I do believe in Jesus. I don't think that was even his name. It was Yehoshua, and he wasn't the only one ever sent by God. He does get you to heaven if you follow him and accept him. In our way, at Maitreans, we say heaven's not far enough. We want to go all the way to union with God, either within this life or at its end, or both. And so I don't want to just go through the stages of hell, which is the results of bad choices, and then heaven, which is wonderful and bliss and results of good choices. And I'm pretty sure I would be able to meet Jesus in spirit, and I know I would be reunited with Maitreya in spirit, but I don't want to come back here again and keep going through this and learning all these lessons unless it's voluntarily to help others. But I want to go all the way home to oneness and bliss with the one universal God, like a drop of water in the sea, as Maitreya would say. So, Christians, I'd ask you to just keep in mind you're not the only religion that's conservative. Leftists, please open your minds, please. Okay, that's it. I didn't really practice that, but that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.